Jim Jones isn't just known for his beef with Nas. There's another rapper that he's had a pretty long ongoing problem with, that being Charlie Wingate, aka Max B or Bigavelli. Max B is due to be out of prison any day now at the time of this recording, but by the time you're hearing this, he might be out. Max never officially joined Dipset, but like Cameron and other members, he was also from Harlem, and after getting out of prison in 2005 for a robbery, he became affiliated with the group and began releasing music with them, Jim Jones in particular. Cameron and Max B were raised in the same project building, so they knew of each other when they were kids before Max got locked up. Once Max got out of prison, he approached Cam as a rapper now, trying to get into the music industry.
What are your thoughts on Max B, like his movement? He has a pretty visible online movement. He's beefing with the dude that you don't really know, man.
No, Max
B's in a little situation right now.
Oh, all right, yeah. Max, my man, we come from the same building. We come from
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we from her 40. We came from the same situation.
Years later, when talking about Max and Jim, Cameron would explain that he didn't take Max seriously as a rapper, as he had still known him by his nickname Charlie Rambo, and for being a funny guy and for getting in trouble and going in and out of prison.
And Max B, he wasn't Max B, his name was Charlie Rambo. And Charlie was ill, man. Charlie was one of these niggas that would piss in a bottle and Bones would be sleeping, he'd pour the piss on him and laugh and shit like that. Like, he was a funny nigga. Charlie Rambo was a funny nigga. So he was always getting in trouble though, in and out of jail doing his thing. And that's just the environment we lived in. So he get out of jail, he come up to me. This is word for word. So I'm like, Charlie, what up? When you guys say, yo, Flea, I just came home. I said, y'all say you always just coming home.
Pause, baby. Okay, we're back.
He said, you always just coming home. So he said, yo, Flea, you know how I rap now. Let's get this shit clicking like Dorothy's heels. I said, yo, I laughed like that because I couldn't take him seriously. Because this is my man. He from my building. I'm like, you rap now, Max? I mean, Charlie, he like, yeah, my name is Bigavelli. I said, Bigavelli? He said, I'm Biggie and Tupac mixed in one. But I'm laughing again because, like I said, I know this dude from my building. And, I couldn't really take Max serious because I didn't see the potential because, I'm not God. I don't always catch every artist. I'm like, oh, how you miss this nigga? I just didn't see it because I fuck with him. And I didn't hear him rap at that time. I never heard him rap.
Fellow Harlem resident Mike Bruno, who knew both Cam and Max, wound up connecting him with Jim, who had released his solo debut album, On My Way to Church, in 2004. Max was featured on Jim's second solo album, Harlem, Diary of a Summer, on the tracks G's Up, Confront Your Babe, and Baby Girl, released in August 2005. That album sold better than his previous and reached number 5 on the top 200 Billboard chart.
Yeah, my man Max B all over the album. I got the whole squad on the Killers, Wells, Sha, motherfucking Hell World, J.R. Ryder, 40 Cal. Shouts to my dude Fader Hussein. I did the pop track over. I got my man Fader Hussein.
Max was then featured on several tracks from Jim's third album, Hustler's POME, Product of My Environment, released in November 2006, including the hit single We Fly High, aka Ballin', which became Jim's highest charting single, and the album was also a top 10 on Billboard. Also in May that year, Max was featured on the song You Gotta Love It from Cameron's album Killer Season, which was a diss to Jay-Z. So due to his affiliation with Dipset, Max started to become a name in rap, the New York rap scene especially. Around this time, Jim formed the group Bird Gang with fellow rappers Max B, Mel Matrix, NOE, and Stack Bundles. They released the mixtape Jim Jones Presents MOB, which also featured the new Dipset members J.R. Ryder, Hell Rel, and 40 Cal. Max also started releasing his own solo mixtapes like $1 Million Baby. Also in 2006 is where Max's street life would catch up with him again, despite attempts at turning things around in music, and also would begin the downfall of the seemingly good relationship he and Jim had. In September 2006, Max met up with Gina Conway, his ex-girlfriend, and she told him about a man that she had met who had a lot of money, which led to Max devising a plan to rob the man Alan Plowden. Gina informed him that Alan was staying at a Holiday Inn in Fort Lee, New Jersey, and Max sent Gina and his stepbrother, Kelvin, to the hotel in order to steal the money. Alan was supposed to be out of the hotel at the time, and Gina had the key card to his room, so it was supposed to be a smooth theft. But when they arrived at his room, he was indeed there, along with another woman. Long story short, the robbery went left and David Taylor, an associate of Alan's who was also staying at the hotel, was killed in the process. Gina wound up being arrested for this situation and implicated both Max and Kelvin, which led to their arrest. Here is where the beef between Jim and Max would truly come into play. While Max was locked up, the hit single We Fly High that I mentioned earlier was released, and Jim's profile as a solo artist was certainly rising. We Fly High became Jim's first and only platinum selling single and reached number 5 on the Billboard Top 100. Max looked to Jim to pay for his bail, which wound up getting set to $2 million. Jim eventually agreed to put up the bail money on the condition that Max signs a contract with him. That contract involved signing the publishing rights of Max's music over to Jim.
Even with the dude that was locked up and shit like that, yeah, in the beginning, I took advantage of only thing I knew because that's what I learned from the leader that I had.
Who was locked up?
I ain't gonna say, you know who's locked up, but we ain't gonna say that. He did one of the artists I had and shit like that. In the beginning, it was like that because I was taught from, you only know what you taught, you dig? So naturally moving forward in this game is to be sold, not told. I was blinding people with the money, but I paid people more than they was worth and shit like that, you dig? But on the flip side, I took advantage of the business. That was in the very beginning. And after that experience, I never ever took advantage of nobody else in my life when it came to doing business with music. Even with that, I relinquished the ownership of his publishing, you heard? Wow. Because I could have still owned his publishing right now if I wanted to and shit like that. But in my heart, I knew that's not the right, that's weak, that's weak nigga shit, you heard? Like, that's not how you know what I mean? And moving forward, like, and I've never, like, he asked Peso and shit like that. Like, I'm very delicate when I deal with artists or get in business with artists and shit like that because I know how crazy it is with the game. I never want to feel like these artists think that I'm trying to take advantage of them because I'm not. That's not what we're here for. We're here to do business together and shit like that. Like, I want to teach you some shit that they ain't teach me. So you could probably be more successful than I ever would be because you got the knowledge that I didn't have.
So Max lost his publishing rights but regained his freedom, at least until he went to court. Also around this time, Dipset as a group had fallen out due to various issues. In June 2007, Bird Gang member Stack Bundles was murdered in his hometown of Queens. At the time of Stack's murder, Max was still locked up and awaiting Jim to pay the bail, which didn't happen until July that year. While he was locked up, he had music being released, building a buzz up even more in the streets, like the mixtape Public Domain $1 Million Baby Radio, on which the cover features the words Free Max B, which was a reference to him being behind bars at the time. Then in 2008, Max seemed to have officially severed ties from Jim entirely as he left Bird Gang and formed the group Gang Green and began sending shots at Jim on mixtapes and interviews.
Like, my beef now, man, you already know, man. I got beef with the whole Dipset, man. I'm riding on everybody in Dipset, man. You already know, man. From Jewels to motherfucking freaky, whatever the fuck, Zeke, Gargamel, Jim, all them niggas is enemies. Don't nobody ask me about them niggas when y'all see me. Oh, yo, what's up with Jim? Man, fuck all them niggas. I don't fuck with none of them niggas. Them niggas under Jim whack. Them niggas ain't getting no money. All them niggas sitting in the studio writing fake ass songs for that nigga, watching that nigga look good. I'm out here making moves. I get money. I keep thousands on me every day. Every time the camera come on me, this is what I'm gonna do. This is the thousands of dollars I'm gonna have on me. And when y'all come back next time, I'm about to trade that shit in and get a silver one with the silver sheets and all that with the big wheels on it, man. I'm not playing with you niggas, man. I'm not getting no money. I'm only doing shows for 2,000. Hypothetically speaking, let's just say I'm doing shows for 2,000. Do you know how many shows I did already this month?
Give him a roundabout number.
Man, I'm doing 6-7 shows a month. So what's that, 14, 15 grand a month? That's good for a nigga like me with no album, right? Eat a dick.
While out on bail until his trial, he went in on Jim and to a lesser extent, Dipset as a whole. For example, on the mixtape $1 Million Baby 2, he sends shots at Jim Jones on the track I'ma Do Me, on which he uses the beat from the single of the same name by Rocco. On the second verse, he disses Jim with the lines, You are nothing with no Max B, I won't help you, so don't ask me. Where's my paper? Bitch, you owe me. Chrissy think I'm cute, she wants to blow me. Chrissy has been Jim's longtime girlfriend dating back to 2004, and Max would mention her on multiple songs in order to antagonize Jim more. Also on the track, Don't Take It Personal, he sends a shot at Jim once again on the third verse. Around this time, Max also started working with up-and-coming Bronx rapper French Montana, who was known for his Cocaine City DVDs. French was also beefing with Jim Jones for his own reasons, so he and Max had an enemy in common. On Million Dollar Baby 2.5, The Appetizer, Max dissed Jim on the track She Touched It in Miami, featuring fellow Harlem rapper Alpac. This track is about Jim's girlfriend Chrissy, and the title is a reference to Jim's single, Summer with Miami, from the album Harlem Diary of a Summer. Throughout the song, he makes mentions of how he allegedly had sex with Chrissy in Miami, and according to the chorus, she likes anal. On Alpac's verse, he sends shots at Jim with the lines, "Pussy's talking reckless, but they don't really want a war. Niggas ain't worth my time, so I'm getting at your whore. If you feel some type of way, then come holla at your boy. Homie, I ain't hard to find." That is probably the most well-known diss track from their beef. Also on the mixtape is a track, The Tsunami, featuring Alpac, on which Max sends shots at Jim once again. On the chorus, Max talks about people messing with his money and threatens them. Given the whole issue over the bail money and its publishing, it would seem to be a pretty clear reference to Jim Jones. On his first verse, he has the lines, "Peep my strategy, Chrissy she love me, Jimmy he mad at me." It should be pretty clear by now that Max kept mentioning Chrissy just to get under Jim's skin.
That's why I'm promoting like the,
Yeah.
like, but it's big. It ain't gonna be no bullshit.
Yeah.
I know I'm not no bullshit nigga. Like the shit gonna be like niggas got niggas running around like I'm a bullshit nigga, dog. I'm not a bullshit nigga because niggas wouldn't fuck with me from the first place. Niggas just wanted me laying. Niggas just thought I was a nigga that just sit back and do nothing while these niggas is looking good trying to do shit, and that wasn't my plan, dog. I did 8 years in the can. When I came home, my job was to come home and do this shit and go somewhere. Not be working for a nigga in the studio writing songs while he the only nigga looking hot. He the only nigga going to the mall spending 10,000, buying a nigga a t-shirt. He spending 10,000, spending 5,000 on this bitch. That bitch don't make no songs, nigga.
Then on the track, Holdin' a Nigga, featuring Uncle Murda and French Montana, they send shots at Dipset. The chorus and title come from 50 Cent's song Many Men. Also on the mixtape is the track The Real Blasphemy, which is the original version of the song Blasphemy from the Bird King album M.O.B. the album, which was also released in 2008. The song originally had Max B, but he was apparently taken off the song and replaced by Sen City, who did the chorus instead. Also on the track We Gang Green, Max disses Jim on his verse. Then again on the track Won't Go Far, featuring Alpac and French Montana, Max disses Jim yet again. Not long after this, Max put out the mixtape Public Domain 3, Domain Pain. Once again, more shots are sent at Jim throughout the mixtape. The mixtape cover features Max B standing next to two gravestones, one of Jim's name and one of fellow Dipset member Joel Santana's name. And Jim's stone says Millie, while Joel's says Vanilli, which is a reference to the infamous Milli Vanilli lip-syncing scandal. On the track Paperwork, featuring Alpac, Max once again takes shots at Jim. On the first verse of the song, he makes a reference to the court case with the lines, "Fucking Bergen cops try to tie me to the telly room, life's been very gloom since the incident." Bergen County Jail is where Max B was held at first until he was eventually sentenced in 2009 and transferred to Northern State Prison in Newark. Throughout the rest of the verse, he makes references to going to court and continues to throw shots at Jim Jones, like saying that he lip syncs. Then on the second verse, he has the lines, "He can't even walk through Harlem again, got them choppers for a nigga's ass, got him running around scared, trembling, gentlemen." He then goes on to mention how he's linked up with French Montana, which as I said earlier is another rapper that Jim was beefing with at the time. Then on the track Picture Me Rollin', he disses Jim and maybe Dipset as a whole with the lines, "Them niggas need to hit me with my grip. I want it now and I'ma ride on these bitches till I get it. I'm coming down to the studio. We know where you be, you can hide but you can't run. Get that bitch from me, here her man comes." More lyrics about Max B wanting his money from Jim. Then on the track Lip Sing, Max starts off the first verse taking aim at them again with the lines, "I told them bitches come and see me. They be acting like it ain't nothing. I know them niggas need me. I was giving them the loot, but them niggas done blew it." Once again, a reference to the writing that he did for Jim. Then on the track G'd Up remix featuring Henny the Don, Max disses Jim again. On the first verse he mentions Jim's son with the lines, "I'm a professional pimp, don't stress a hoe. Bitch get you for your whole shit, I'ma give this nigga whole clips. I was in the Benz, babe, I've seen Pootie Room. I was in your crib, kid, I know where you live, bitch, I'm better off." Pootie is Jim Jones' son's nickname, and considering that Jim and Max seem to be close for a time, it would likely be true that he actually has seen his son's room. Then on the track Chase You Home featuring Alpac, they again make a subliminal mention of Dipset on the outro. On the track Try Me, Max sends another shot at Jim Jones with the lines, "No flows, you can keep it, nigga, you lip sync, that be our little secret, peep it, nigga tried to keep me under wraps hoping I slipped up." Like I mentioned earlier, Max often accused Jim of lip syncing at this time, which was a reference to the writing he did for Jim.
You know, they were saying that you was tied in for 10 albums. Is that, like, you want to flare that?
Jim got all his music.
Okay.
I wrote 10 albums for that nigga. He got him in his drive already. I don't owe nothing. He got all his songs already. How you think he got so hot? Came out with all them tapes. I did that. I put them hooks together.
But you know, like from the fans' point of view, y'all made some incredible music together.
I made incredible music. All he did was rhyme 16.
Well, you know,
I made the hooks. I made the melodies.
Yeah.
I made the shit, dog. I'm the man.
Then on the track We Got Dough, Max disses Jim on the first verse with the lines, "This nigga thought it was him, but the people wanted me. They asking me Big Avell, when is the album coming? I tell them when this motherfucker Jimmy get off his stomach. He was getting fucked like a little bitch in the rear end. No matter how loud he screams, nobody seems to hear him. I can't really spare him, nigga just want to get him for his jewelry." Then on the track Wavy Shit, Max sends a shot at Dipset with the lines, "Get your lips wet, I'm not Dipset, nigga, I'm Green Game." That's a reference to the chorus from the song Baby Girl by Jim Jones featuring Max B from Jim's album Harlem Diary of a Summer, on which Max did the chorus. Then on the track Chevy Clean, he sends shots at Jim again on his second verse with the lines, "You could never run Harlem, nigga, I am heavy here, nigga, I am everywhere, every block, every hood, and I keep the gun around, you can't even come around, you can't even run around, he be out of the town with them niggas that extort him." Then on the track Ready to Ride, Max makes a mention of Jim Jones on the chorus, and he makes a reference to somebody blackballing him, which once again would be Jim.
That's why I keep going hard until y'all stop supporting this nigga. When y'all stop supporting him, I'ma stop going hard. Y'all still supporting him, so I gotta keep pumping out the dope. And I ain't pumping out no bad dope, I'm pumping out that good Diesel.
Well, you call around all the labels telling niggas don't fuck with us, right?
Yeah, you blackballing, you calling Digiwax, YouTube, World Star, you trying to blackball niggas on the internet, World Star, this nigga going hard.
You calling niggas, you calling labels something out to fuck with niggas. But this is why I don't understand. If you blackballing niggas, right, you should be selling $1 million.
Yeah, he not even blackballing niggas, he the type of nigga go to the label and hate, yo, don't fuck with them niggas ain't, that's not blackballing, that's dick sucking and hating.
Shortly after this, Max released the mixtape Wavy Crockett. On the track Feds Taking Pictures, featuring Mac Mustard, Max talks about Jim some more on the outro, like mentioning that Jim thanked him on his second album and again mentions Jim's girlfriend and her teeth. Then on the track Niggas Done Started Something, which uses the beat from the DMX song of the same name, Max sends shots at Dipset again. Then he goes on to mention Jim's girlfriend Chrissy as well. So yeah, as you can see, Max mentioned Jim and Dipset quite a bit throughout his mixtapes. Things weren't just back and forth on wax with Jim and Max though. They were also talking about each other in interviews like I mentioned earlier.
Aiming at the bird gang, I'm aiming at the bird gang ship, I'm sinking the ship. Jim sold 7. Shout out to Jim, he sold 17,000 this week. What a disgusting number, what a flop. Can't Chrissy no new teeth with them numbers.
On top of that, they also got into altercations in person. For example, in one video, Max would state that he and Jim had an altercation in a parking lot. Jim drove in next to him to block him and was going to assault Max with his crew, but Max rammed Jim's car out of the way and punched Jim in the face when Jim approached his car, allegedly.
Try to box me in. Try to box me in right there. Like around where the truck at. That's where the Bentley pulled up at, right where the green car was at. So I had about that much room to back up. So, you know, I took my time. Obviously, I wasn't scared because I didn't really bang my shit that hard, right? I banged it just enough to get my room so I could ram his shit up, ram it up his ass. Pause. Ram the motherfucker. Boom, I hit his shit. So he all the shit, my car, where tried to grab me. Come right here, grab me. Right? My window was there, he tried to grab me. So when he came in the window, I punched him in his fucking face. God damn, was trying to grab him in the fucking car, so he ran up. Ran back to his car. He see me revving up for one more wine. That's when this guy, look, not gonna say his name. This guy kicked my shit right here. Man, because he couldn't get in. All right, doing shit, you know? Hit him one more time. Boom! Damn. As you can see, I was gonna take it to my guy to get fixed. These were out. See this one still sticking out a little bit? Come here so you can look at it. Still sticking out a little bit right here. So I just pushed it back in.
He then goes on in the video to talk about Joel Santana.
Had a little situation the other day, you know what I'm saying? Joel and the guys, I was in there buying some stuff, you know, niggas ran up in there and whatever. You know, they felt there was a problem. I let them know it was no problem. Wow, this is the whole thing right here. A couple months ago, I came out with a mixtape called PD3. And I had a tomb, it was tombstones on the cover which said Jim Jones, Joel Santana. Now my original cover was Milli Vanilli, that's the one I turned in. So, you know, whatever happened after that, you know, wasn't my responsibility. For some strange reason, somebody, whoever did the cover felt that they needed to put Joel on the cover. I never said his name the whole tape, so you know, I never said his name, period. So personally, there's no beef with Joel Santana. Never had any beef with Joel Santana. Never had any beef with the other Dipset members. Just been Jim. It's always been Jim. Want to fry his ass. Everybody else, I want no beef with nobody else.
In another situation, Max was performing at a club and Bird Gang affiliates came there to confront him, and the situation turned into a bunch of chairs being thrown. As I mentioned, Max and French were working together at this time, putting out mixtapes and appearing on DVDs together. In some of these videos, the two would clown Dipset, in particular Jim Jones.
You know what I'm saying? It's the second time you fixed your car in 1 month. You know what I'm saying? So
You
like,
got it crashed again.
you know what I'm saying?
And punched in your face.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of things you can't do, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things you can't stop niggas from eating, man. Street niggas, you stop niggas from eating, they coming upside your head and they gonna bite your fucking face off.
In one video in particular, Max goes in on Dipset member Hell Rel, calling him and his mother ugly.
Shout
That's
to
it.
Shout to
Some don't
Gorilla,
live there.
baby.
It feel good.
Nigga, the doctor smacked your mother when you was born, nigga. You're so ugly.
Who you talking about?
Hell Rail, aka.
Oh man, I gotta see this. Oh man.
AKA Hell No. The bitches see you, they go, oh hell no, I'm not fucking with that ugly nigga. You taco face ass nigga. You taco meat face ass nigga. Hell no. Hell no, your mother's so ugly. Nigga, you and your mother so ugly. The doctor put his dick in your face and came in both of them. You ugly faggot motherfucker.
Hell Rel had words from Max and French as well. At this point, remember, it was Dipset members versus Max B and French, due to the two both having their own issues with Jim. In an interview on This Is 50, when asked about Max and French, Hell Rel would state that he heard that they got married and he was offering $5,000 for pictures of Max in the wedding dress, and he would then go on to diss them in a freestyle.
I heard they just got married. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I got $5,000 for the wedding pictures. I just want to see the pictures. Word, I heard them niggas got married and some shit like that, man. Word, man. So, you know, I just want to see the pictures and shit, you know. Maxine in that dress, you know. How running around the church like, you know what I'm saying? I want to see that shit, you know.
Speaking of French, he also released a mixtape around this time titled Live from Africa, which features the track Wavy, featuring Max B, which is also a diss track to Jim. Throughout the track, French mentions the men that Chrissy was with before Jim, and also mentions Jim's beef with True Life, in which Jim got punched and got one of his rings stolen, and he takes a shot at Jim's leadership abilities, which is likely a dig at what happened to Bird Gang members Stack, Bundles, and Max B. Also in 2008, Max signed a deal with the record label Amalgam Digital to put out an album, but was blocked by Jim from doing so. Later on in 2010, however, the New York courts would rule in favor of Max and Jim was no longer allowed to block him from releasing music. I'll be getting back to that in a minute, however. In March 2009, Jim Jones released his fourth solo album, Pray for Rain, which features the hit single Pop Champagne. It also has the track Frenemies, on which he talks about Cameron in the first verse and Max B in the second. He talks about how he met Max through a mutual friend, helping him get a record deal, getting him out on bail, and more. Also in 2009, Max released the track Pootie, which is once again aimed at Jim. As I mentioned earlier, that is the nickname of Jim's son. Max starts his verse off making a mention of blackballing again, and on his second verse mentions someone selling only 16,000 albums. That is a reference to the Bird Gang album MOB, which was released in June 2008 and sold 16,000 copies the first week. Max was not featured on the album as they were already feuding at the time, so any songs he was on were not placed on the album or his vocals were removed. Later that year in May, the trial began for the hotel incident. In June, they were found guilty, and in September, Kelvin was sentenced to life in prison plus 35 years, while Max got 75 and Gina got 15 years. At this time, Jim Jones and other Dipset members were still putting out music. For example, Dipset released the mixtape Dipset Mania 5, on which they took shots at Max. On one of the tracks, Hell Rel talks about alleged paperwork he has that confirms that Max B is a snitch. Also on the mixtape, J.R. Writer has the track Maxi Pad, which is a play on the name Max B and Maxi Pads, which are for women's periods, so essentially calling Max a woman. On the song, he mentions that Jim has Max B locked into a 10-album deal and that he's not able to even drop one. JR also dissed Max on his mixtape Cinecrack on the track Maxine. It samples the reggae song Murder She Wrote by Chaka Demus and Pliers. Just like Maxipad, it's JR once again calling Max a woman as well. Like I said earlier, Max went back to prison in 2009 with a 75-year sentence. In March 2010, Max was granted an appeal, and then in May, the courts ruled that Jim would no longer have rights over Max's music, which means that he would be able to put out albums despite being locked up again. In March 2011, Amalgam Digital released his official debut album, Vigilante Season. On that album is the song Tattoos on Her Ass, on which he disses Lil Wayne on his first verse. Then later on in the song, he makes a callback to Touched It in Miami, and he mentions that she wants to get his name tattooed on her as the title states, which again is Max using Jim's girlfriend Chrissy against him. The consistent dissing Max did to Jim brought him more attention, which would probably have resulted in a lot of album sales if Max was free. I'm sure there's even more songs that Max had dissed Jim on, but I'm sure you get the gist by now. In 2012, Max's appeal was denied, and his sentence remained in place. In 2013, Max had an interview with Complex in which they talked about his time with the group. He would mention that he was upset with the way the group was set up. Like Jim would be making $10,000 to $15,000 a show, but he would only give him like $300, which he felt was unfair considering how hard he was working with writing and being on songs, and even being involved in the beefs that Jim found himself in at the time as well. So once again, the beef essentially started over the money and Max feeling underpaid and disrespected for all the work he put in.
As far as that paperwork goes,
we don't do paperwork no more. There's no such thing as paperwork. Max, I never have another project. There's no negotiation. I don't want to be friends. I don't care about no negotiation because I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Fuck a negotiation. Fuck Jim.
Remember, like I mentioned earlier, Max was featured on several songs of Jim's and claimed to have written or helped write Jim's biggest song to date, We Fall High, although Jim in interviews would deny that Max or anyone else had written for him. A few years later in 2016, Max's conviction wound up getting vacated and he pled guilty to aggravated manslaughter, which is a lesser charge compared to his previous conviction of felony murder, among other charges. He was sentenced to 20, which might seem like a heavy sentence, but was still a drastic decrease given that the 75-year sentence was essentially life in prison. While Max was locked up, several mixtapes and compilation albums were released. Jim didn't seem to have much to say on wax about Max anymore, but when asked about him in interviews, typically had nothing nice to say about the former Bird Gang member if he was willing to speak about Max at all.
About what situation?
About it. Well, you know, a lot of people took the perception as you was talking about Max on that record.
Why would they do that?
Because you said at the end, I shouldn't have bailed your bum ass out of jail. That's why. That's why. That's why. That's why. Right or wrong?
I was just popping shit.
All right.
And I was just told. I'm just saying what I'm just giving people. I'm just talking to the people like, you know, it always hurts when somebody bites the hand that feed them. But
So could that situation be reconciled with you and him? Could y'all ever sit down and just like, cause you know y'all made incredible music together, for the love of the music. Let them know.
no.
In various interviews, he would simply choose not to answer questions about Max.
When I look at you, I think about not only Dipset, Cameron, Jewel, I think about Max B. Nah. No Max B. What's up? say that. I love that type of response. You know what I'm saying? Say less. No, hell no.
I don't talk about dead people when I'm talking about people locked up.
The beef between Jim and French was squashed in 2020 when they spoke on Instagram Live, and they were both featured on the Trav song Ode to Me, and Jim featured on the French Montana song Too Late from his mixtape Coke Boys 5. A few years later, in July 2025, Max B called into the Drink Champs podcast hosted by Nori and DJ EFN. He was asked about Jim and French squashing their beef, in which Max would say that he talked to French about it already and he was okay with it, and that he also is done beefing with Jim and wants to start over.
Was good for hip hop and was also good for the city is to see French Montana and Jim Jones like squash it. Is that something that you co-signed?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout to the Don Montego. What's up, brother? You already know. I see you on the back end.
Right.
Yeah, French called me when he did the joint. Let me know. You know, that's bro. He gonna definitely let me know what he did. He didn't want me to hear about the song or whatever on somebody else's book. I had the album already, but nah, it was all love. I'm like, at this point, you know, business is business. Being both personal affairs shouldn't be able to stop your business. I'm like, yeah, that shit was like mad years ago. You know, we was running around young. We was entertaining. That's what we did.
Right.
Listen, Jim said a bunch of hard shit about me. So we all say hard shit about each other, okay? That nigga, listen, Jim done wish me dead, all type of shit. It's all good. Listen, man, it's love, man. I want to start over. I'm a new man.
Max B is due to be released from prison on November 9th, 2025.
You are to be released at the expiration of your maximum sentence as determined by the New Jersey Department of Corrections to begin serving a 5-year period of mandatory supervision component of your sentence. The mandatory supervision will commence upon the date of your release and be supervised by the New York State, which means I'm out this motherfucker. Hold on, let me show y'all the letter. This is raw proof, baby. Wingate Charlie, out-of-state plan approval. See that? See that? That's the letter right there. Can't fake it neither. It got that stamp on it. See that stamp? Stamp. And it's signed. See that? Director, Division of Release. See that? That mean I'm out this motherfucker. Look at that. November 9th, baby.
Considering how Jim has been responding in interviews to questions about him, do you think he'll truly be down for reconciliation with Max? Do you think Jim should have been paying Max more for all the work he put in the studio? Do you feel like Max should have been more patient and not jumped out the window dissing Jim so much? Personally, there's a bunch of Max B songs that I enjoy, and I'm curious to see what he does when he gets out. Will he try to reconnect with Jim or Cam? Will he join a podcast, maybe start his own? Will he get back to releasing music? You let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you liked the video, and check the links in the description to see the Patreon and follow the channel on other platforms.